was great.
James Burton. Johnny
Very
Johnson.
exciting. I want to tell you, last night and tonight, you guys have been just unbelievable.
We are, and we have the
great
spirit.
every night.
Spirit of rock and roll. Thank you. How about that band?
Elvis.
Yeah.
And then right in the middle, you kind of like double time it there.
We went up to Vegas Temple. We took it, you know,
Is that what it is?
Memphis Temple,
Yeah.
and then we went right up to Vegas
Nice
Temple.
job. Here's Grant Paulson, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing?
Very good. How are you?
How old are you? 12?
12 years old,
12 years
yes.
old? You enjoying the show so far?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's hilarious, really?
I love it.
Well, what were you watching? Listen, do you get up to New York City often?
This is my first time.
Your
It's
first
beautiful.
time.
I love it.
What do you think of the town? It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah. How long?
So many big buildings.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of big buildings.
I love it.
We have so many. They're talking about taking a few down. Boy, they're talking about taking a few down. In Pittsburgh, they just dropped the Three Rivers Stadium there, didn't they?
A lot of memories going down, but yeah.
Yeah. Were you there for that?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, but it was a big story. And
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Very good Steelers team. A lot of great defense. Steel curtain and disappointing, but needed to happen.
yeah. It was disappointing, but it needed to happen. I say that about any show we do here on any given night. Now, let's talk, Grant, about how this happened, because you're just a kid. I mean, you don't mind me calling you a kid, right? That's what you
Not
are.
at all.
You're a kid, for heaven's sakes. How does a kid start out doing this sort of stuff?
It started off at a family picnic. My uncle did a radio station, and he's a big Steelers guy in Pittsburgh. And I was telling him about how the Redskins had beaten the Steelers 10-7 in a preseason game.
Yeah. Now, how did you know that as a kid?
Well, I watched it, and I remembered the game. And
See, when you're a kid, you have excellent memories. Your mind is very supple, and stuff just you remember everything when you're a kid. And then later in life, you know.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now your uncle is impressed that you have retained this information about the preseason football
Exactly.
game, and he says, "I'll put you on the radio," right?
He said, if this is true, if the Redskins did beat the Steelers, then you can come on my show, and we can do some picks and work from there.
And that's what happened then, I guess, huh?
Exactly. It went on. It was just sensational. I mean, it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
I did the picks, and every week I started doing it weekly. Local paper did a story. Started writing for them.
So you're writing for the
9.
local paper too?
I've been writing for them a little over 2 years. That's a lot of fun.
So it's a column. You pick games. What do? You have a little of both. I mean, you don't advocate gambling. Tell me, son. You don't advocate. You're not producing the betting line, are you? You're not none of that.
It's a sports commentary.
Yeah.
Just basically my thought on what's going on in the sports world.
Yeah.
Right now it's a great time, a lot of intensity.
Oh, sure. It's fantastic. Now, do you know the athletes? Have you met some of the superstars?
I have. I've been fortunate enough to go in the locker rooms.
What is that like when a kid walks in the locker room?
Oh, it's just fantastic. I hear a lot of funny stuff. That's basically the main thing. I hear a lot of great stuff.
Now, what kind of funny stuff do you hear in the locker room?
A lot of stuff. Don't want to get into all of it, really, but it can be hilarious.
Are the athletes nice to you? Have you had good experiences with some of the athletes?
Oh, they're all very nice. One of my most memorable memories was when I was in the locker room with the Redskins. Deion Sanders. There was a big press conference with about, I guess, 40 reporters and a bunch of cameras, because Deion Sanders was the big item in Washington, and I was kind of in the back getting pushed around because I tried to hold my own, but they just throw me out of the way.
You're just a kid, and then that's right.
So I'm just trying to see Deion Sanders and thinking about what I'm going to ask him if I do get a chance, and I don't, and then all of a sudden a guy comes and just pulls me out of the way, and Deion Sanders catches it out of the corner of his eye.
He sees this from where he has the podium
sees it,
there.
and all of a sudden he stops in the middle of his question, and he walks back to me and says, "Hey, little buddy, how you doing?" And I said, "I'm fine." And he said, "Would you like to come up and ask me a few questions?" He sat me down right next to him, and I got to do a one-on-one while all these people are watching. I mean, it's a great feeling.
It's great. That's a nice story. It's a very nice story.
All the players, yeah.
What is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport, I like to cover them all and play them all. Football, basically, would be probably my favorite. It's got the most intensity. And
What do you think of the XFL, speaking of football?
I like football the way it is. The NFL is just fine, yeah.
What about the NBA? I know we're just over halfway through the season. Who do you think is going to win the NBA?
There's a lot of great teams out there. The Sacramento Kings are playing some great basketball.
Yeah, what's the deal on those guys? All of a sudden they just stepped it up and are playing old-fashioned basketball and everybody's going crazy, aren't they?
They're led by Chris Webber. They've got great fans in Sacramento, and Jason Williams is starting to emerge as a leader at point guard. So if they can keep up their momentum, and I think they have a good shot.
How many players in the NBA are named Jason Williams?
There's a couple of them.
Is it just two?
Yeah.
And is there a college Jason Williams also?
I think there is, yes.
Yeah. Well, so we're not going to run out of Jason Williams. That's what you're saying. That's all. That's
I think there's a couple of them in case one of them wants to, get away from the sport. We can replace
Keep
them with
moving
another.
them up, sure.
Right.
Red shirt, a couple of them. Now, we talked earlier about Chuck Knobloch. I'm sure you followed that story.
Right.
What's the deal there? What's going to happen to Chuck Knobloch?
He has a hard time with that second to first throw. I don't know.
Yeah.
That throw, he's just not doing it. And they
not
moved him to
happening,
the
no.
outfield, so
Does that guy have a future in the big leagues, do you think, or not?
I don't know. Doesn't look very good.
Can he DH? Can they DH him and
They
get
could
away with
DH. He's a solid hitter. He's very consistent, and they could DH him, but they've got some other talented players, David Justice, that can also DH, so they got to find a spot for him.
Yeah, therapy, maybe some therapy. He's a head case. He's a head case, don't you think?
He could use it, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about this story about Michael Jordan coming out of retirement? What's that? That's just silly, isn't it? That ain't going to happen, is it?
Who knows right now?
Yeah.
It'd be great for all involved, really.
But he's my age at this point, for heaven's sake. It would spoil the wonderful memory of a wonderful athlete, don't you think? It would ruin that once-in-a-generation experience of watching Michael Jordan.
I think, I don't know. I think maybe Michael Jordan can still give it a go. Mario Lemieux's playing great with the Penguins, and I really think that he could still maintain a solid game.
Well, all right, that's interesting. We'll see what happens. And if it works for him, I may come out of retirement and start doing this show again.
I think you could, yeah. I think you do great.
Nice meeting you, Grant.
You too. Thank you very
Good
much.
luck. I hope you come back and see us
Thank
again.
you.
Grant Paulson, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.